Welcome into the latest edition of ESPN FC. I'm Dan Thomas, joined by Craig Burley. Don Hutchison is here, as is Ali Moreno. Later on in the show, I'll be reacting to Pochettino's reaction that he should have got more love, despite the fact the US lost against Turkey 3-2 last night. But we kick things off with the favourites to win the World Cup, finishing top of the group. France defeating Norway by 4-1. Dembele, sensational in the first half with a hat-trick. Norway got a goal. They missed a penalty in the second half, despite the fact Norway fielded pretty much a second-string side. Haaland not starting in the 11, Odegaard neither. Norway qualify second in the group. France, however, finished top of the group. Elsewhere, Senegal beating Iraq by 5-0 to send the Scots home. What a shame.
Yeah. Well, you know, very disappointing.
Yeah, yes, indeed. Frank Leboeuf is with us. Frank, France are good.
Seems to be very good, you know, and well, I was at first I was very surprised that Didier Deschamps or Guy Stéphane, his assistant, decided to put the first team, except some players like Lacroix instead of Saliba, and maybe Rabiot for Koné. But otherwise, the forward lines was the best, and I thought Didier Deschamps will rest like Norway did with Haaland, Odegaard, and Solot. But he decided to put the first 11, and it worked. It worked very well. At the first second, where we saw Mbappe hitting the crossbar, and then France showed their strengths, and especially Ousmane Dembele. I'm very happy for him. He scored a fantastic hat trick. He showed that he hasn't got a problem. Yeah, his only problem, he doesn't know which foot is the best for him, which is unbelievable. But the guy is so good. He had a fourth chance to score, but I think in his mind he said, well, maybe 3 is enough. I'm going to try to give an assist for the fourth, but he missed the pass, and France didn't work. But really, amazing performance. Yes, the rotation from Norway says a lot. Maybe the guy's going to talk about it and see if it had an effect on the result. But overall, France wanted to stay on the East Coast, and that was the point. What they're gonna happen, because they're gonna play in New York the next game.
Dembele sensational in that first half. Blimmin' heck.
Luis Enrique's done a great job with him, hasn't he?
Yeah.
And that's transferred into the national team, his confidence. This player that was at Dortmund and Barcelona and who was very inconsistent and who had his disciplinary issues in terms of being late for training and the attitude, and he goes back to France and you think, right, what version is going to go back to France? Somebody that's just sort of had enough and he wants to go home to his home country and take it easy? Or is it a guy who goes back to his home country, gets in with a manager who gets in his head that he needs to work hard and everything else will come? And he's been sensational, obviously Ballon d'Or winner, but what he's done in terms of consistency of performance for club and country has been something that Dortmund, but certainly Barcelona, wanted to see, but never really did. But PSG and France are now seeing that. And you could argue that he is as important,
it's incredible,
as Kylian Mbappe.
Yeah, that attack that France have, to have Dembele in your Arsenal, to have Mbappe, we saw what Elise did again today. This team is something else.
Well, and that's the scary part about France, that we're talking about Ousmane Dembele, the current Ballon d'Or winner, and he may not be their best player. We're talking about Kylian Mbappe, who may end up winning the Golden Boot in this tournament, and he may not be currently their best player. Michael Olise seems to be their best player right now. And so when you think about France and you think about what they're able to do and the talent that they have in the attack, it's elite. We throw this word of elite out and world-class to describe certain players. No, this guy, really, they are world-class and really they're elite. And let's just say that they're having an off night. Let's just for argument's say that, you know, Dembele's not quite having it today. He's not quite playing at the level that we expect him. All right, well, in comes Barcola, or here is Doué, or here's this guy, or here's that guy. They have too much in the attack. Only concern would be through the midfield. Only concern would be in the back line. But that's nitpicking, because this team and the front end is better than anybody else.
What's it like, Don, playing against a player with both feet?
Well, most people have got both feet.
No, that's very true. I have both feet. I have both feet as well, to be fair. Unfortunately, neither of them able to kick a ball.
Well, one of them you've just put in your mouth.
How do you stop them? How do you stop them? Because they're unpredictable.
Right.
And normally when a guy's left-footed, you can show him on the outside and stick him on his right foot. But You know, it's nigh impossible off the back of the guy's point there. Is how do you beat this team? Because if you go at them, they've got unbelievable speed on the counter with Doué and Barcola come off the bench. And that's the beauty of this team, Mbappe. That's the beauty of this team. At any given time, the coach could have rested 3 or 4 tonight, and Cherki plays.
Yeah.
Barcola plays. You know, Kone played tonight. But you look at them and you go, you just don't see any weaknesses. Defensively strong. Maybe there might be a tiny bit of a chink if they...
Well, they did concede a goal against Norway's second string and a penalty as well. So that's definitely something.
Maybe, but they could have won the game by 5 or 6.
Right.
Because me and Ali we were all watching the first half, and the chances that they had, they were trying to take the mickey with some of the finishes early on. Kone tried a little stud roll. Doué tried a little chip over the goalkeeper that was never ever on. So when they're at it and when they're playing with confidence and the way they're playing at the minute, you think, they just look unbeatable.
Yeah.
Ian Robin was a player, for those that remember, it's not that long ago, that predominantly came in from the right side on his left foot. It was difficult to defend against. I don't know how he did it as often as he did, as successful as he did, but he predominantly came inside. There was the odd time he'd go down the outside. But if you look at every one of those front 3/4, they can all go inside on the left or the right or down the outside. Yeah. Every one of them. Doué, Elise, Dembele, Mbappe. There's not a one-dimensional way of defending them. And Don mentioned Barcola and Ryan Cherki. Ryan Cherki, and Barcola's a brilliant player as well, more of a wide player, but Ryan Cherki did some, not always consistent, but did some magical things at Man City last season. And he must be sitting there thinking, I'm actually really not that very good. I don't know,
Cherki seems to quite like himself.
Well, I know he's very confident in himself, but he is, probably 5th choice?
Yeah.
Maybe 5th, 6th choice.
Elise makes the game look easy, doesn't he? Elise, when you watch him play. When you watch him play, the subtle touches that he's got and the skill that he's got and how he makes the game look easy by finding positions but elegant on the ball at the same time.
Yeah.
You know, the lads behind him, in front of him, wide, they can all get their goals, but he stands out because he's silky and he's smooth.
He glides.
Yeah, he does. Frank, just a word on Dembele. I didn't realise how poor his record was with France when it came to goal scoring until I saw the stat, which I've completely forgotten. But it wasn't very good.
Lots of Dan.
There's the 2 feet.
I know he's got 2 feet. That's important. But he hasn't shone for France as he has, as Craig said, for PSG in that Ballon d'Or year.
Yeah, it's true. I think he scored overall 11 goals for France with the hat trick today. But it's true that he couldn't find his positioning, and everybody say, well, he should play on the number 10, he should play on the right side, but now you have Olise, but he should play a striker, but you have Mbappe. So you have to put the Ballon d'Or where you have an empty space, which is incredible and says a lot about that forward line. But it's true that I've found, for like a year, that he had a complex of inferiority towards Kylian Mbappe. We couldn't see him. And as soon as he scored the last game, I found something changing in his mindset, and that he was ready to step up and to be one of the leaders, because you have lots of leaders in that team, and he showed it today that he's freed from that complex of inferiority, that it doesn't matter anymore for him, which is another threat for the opponents. But yeah, I mean, the guy is amazing. He stepped up since Barcelona, and Craig alluded it. Coming to Paris Saint-Germain, working with Luis Enrique, becoming the Dembele that we know now, but even becoming the leader that I've never expected from him. He was an artist, he was a fantastic player, but the consistency that he showed and the power that he has, saying the word that he said, that if I'm not running back, if I don't get back into position, the coach won't put me. It says a lot about what he wants to achieve and how he thinks the collective is important. Great player.
His game now has effectiveness and efficiency, which he did not have at Borussia Dortmund and certainly did not have at Barcelona. The talent was always there for Ousmane Dembele, but he was the almost guy. The guy that would cut to the inside and he's about to shoot and you think that he's going to put a top corner and no, it goes just wide.
Yeah.
Oh, he was that guy. And he has now become the guy who scores a hat trick in a World Cup. And from the graphic that we just saw, a guy who's very consistent in putting the ball in the back of the net in the same spot.
I drew that myself.
Yeah, well, very nicely done.
Yeah, I know, very necessary.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, you were doing that while forgetting your stats.
What stats?
Exactly. Well, he's got to take the next step now. And I hear you say, what's the next step? Well, he's won the Champions League. He's
won the Ballon d'Or.
He's won Ligue 1. He's won the Ballon d'Or. He scored the hat trick in a World Cup. but it's at the knockout stages against a team who've mailed it in with the team selection because they know they're not going to win the World Cup, Norway, but they want to go as far as they can, so they chose to rest players. But his next step is, when France get to the quarters and the semis and maybe beyond to the final, to take that kind of performance from the group stages and from what he does for PSG and take it into a World Cup semi-final or a World Cup final and produce it then. That's the next step for him. That's going to put him on another pedestal. He's already quite a way up that ladder, but that's going to put him... If he can deliver that, then that's going to put him right up there amongst the greats of French football who have done it at that time, at that level, at that most important point of the competition when you're playing elite level teams. And he can do it. There's not a question he can do it. It's just whether he will not.
And we saw it against Senegal. We saw it today, Frank. A little bit of vulnerability at the back.
Well, Maignan, because I know Craig, criticized Maignan in the first game, saying that he wasn't good, and I think Maignan proved today that he was very important, stopping a penalty. He had a couple of saves as well. He secured the defense, but there were some changes. Even Konate came for the last 15 minutes. I think we know that the pair at the back is Upamecano with Saliba. So Saliba didn't play today, so I'm not that worried. I found Tchouaméni very good, helping the defense as well. I'm always concerned about the two flanks with the two left, the left back and the right back. For me, Koundé is not at his best. Question mark about the Hernandez brothers. I'd rather go with Dean. Still have some question mark about that, but overall they work together. It's what I like. They like to compensate. They like to work hard. Tchouaméni, Rabiot, they help the defense. And I saw Kylian Mbappe running back, tracking back today, getting the ball back. So everything is perfect. So far, expect the heat wave that we have in Paris and in north of France. Otherwise, perfect.
Have I got a twin brother?
I don't know. Did you have a go? You have a go at most people. So.
I don't know. I mean, I know there's been a lot of games, but I don't remember having a go at the French goalkeeper at match day. Anyway, I'm over it.
What did you make of Norway fielding the second string? Now, remember, going into this, Norway could have still won the group if they beat France. They named their second string side without the likes of Haaland or Odegaard, in theory, to get an easier bracket from what it could have been at the top. They want to avoid Germany, in theory, in the round of 16. Do you have a problem with that?
Who wants to avoid Germany?
Norway.
Do they? I mean, they hammered Italy.
I don't think they've done it to avoid the bracket. I think they've done it for harmony. I don't think there's any right or wrong. Same as when you have the chat with America. When you've qualified, you've earned the right to make as many changes as you've got.
America hadn't topped the table. America had topped the table. Norway hadn't.
Yeah, but when you've got a 26-man squad, and this is the debate, it's do you want momentum? Do you want to try and beat France and make a bit of a statement? Or with a 26-man squad, do you want to bring harmony into that? Because I can't imagine being away for 5 weeks and not getting a minute and not getting a game. That wouldn't make you feel good.
World Cup.
No, but it wouldn't make you feel
good. Remember that crap? It's not that. It's a World Cup.
Had to go at that.
It's not about. Of
course it is.
No, it's not.
Of course it is.
It's not. It's not.
So you're away for 5 weeks and you're on the bench and we're all playing. You're gasping for a minute and you can't get on. The right thing to do,
That's
maybe,
a World Cup.
But the right thing to do, maybe when you've qualified, is to give other players a chance to play, and you rest Haaland and you rest Odegaard for the next game.
I don't think the fact that certain players who probably know they're not going to play, when it gets to the crunch games, when they don't get a game, they're going to be upset, because the mindset going in for those players would probably be a bit like the Scotland squad I played in 98. A lot of the lads knew that they were going to be fringe players, and they have to accept that. Now, it's a bit of a defeatist attitude, isn't it, really, from a country who are actually strong at the moment in Norway and who won their group. I think they won every, and the qualification that is, they won every game, I believe, 24 points out of 8 games. I think I'm right. They've got Erling Haaland, they've got Odegaard, they've got other very good players. It's a little bit of a defeat.
The flip side to that, though, Craig...
Oh, my goodness. I thought someone had told me they wanted to avoid Germany. They're going to have Brazil in the round of 16.
The flip side to that argument, if Haaland plays today, Craig, and gets injured, everyone's gone ballistic.
Well, you're having a... One second, Don. Let me just shout out across the room that he's having a shock.
He's having a mare. He started off...
They wanted to avoid Germany in the round of 16. I just...
Who told you? You've got... You have to...
Oh, my Lord.
See those both feet you had at the start of the show?
That's unbelievable.
It's a little... I've told you before, be careful who you listen to. It's... because a lot of people talk nonsense.
Off the back of that, though, Craig...
It's a defeatist attitude in the sense that you had a chance to win your group, and you basically said, in a one-off game, we cannot beat France.
What if Haaland plays today and gets injured?
I know.
That's
What
the
if
dilemma.
Mbappe plays today and gets injured?
But that's a scenario where you can, and we'll get to the US and that debacle of half the people following them. This is 1 second, Frank. I get the injury thing goes out the window when you have a chance to top your group and beat France. I kind of understand that their mentality is we're not going to win the World Cup, so we want to get as far as we can. So we keep people fresh and maybe one or two happy, as Don says. But it's factually correct to say it is a bit of a defeatist attitude when you had an opportunity to top the group was still alive, and you made as many changes as you did.
Two things about this. If I'm a player, if I'm Erling Haaland, and months ago you had the World Cup draw, and you could picture how perfect it would be that you win your first 2 games and you define and decide who the first in the group is going to be against France, that would have been the game that I would have circled. That would have been the game that would have been the big-time matchup in this group. And the game set up for it, and the manager for Norway decided to go against it. And to that, I would say, this is not a very Viking attitude, is it? No. This is
You're rowing away from the challenge.
Yeah, where everybody's going, woo, woo, woo. The manager is going,
But everybody gets a row. This is Don's point.
Everybody gets a little bit of candy.
Everyone
Get
gets
themselves happy.
This is not orange slices and juice boxes. There are guys that are going to play, and there are guys that are not going to play.
Exactly.
There are guys that are going to play and guys that are not going to play. And if there's an opportunity for you to finish first in the group, why would you take that away from yourself? Honestly, you're conceding from before the match. When you're having the team talk, you're already conceding to France and you're saying, yeah, we're going to put our alternative team on.
You're thinking outside the box because you're resting your best players. I know it's a defeatist attitude and you're giving up the game.
I'll think inside the box and row forward.
You ain't,
row forward.
You ain't.
Frank, you get the deciding vote on this. Well, you don't because Don's wrong, but go on.
Thank you. Many things to say, Don. If Mbappe who played, or Dembele who played, or Doué who played would have gotten injured, what would you have thought about the French coach? That's the same question for that you had for Haaland. That's a thing that you can think about. But I remember in '98 we won the 2 first games, and I think Denmark won the 2 first games. So we rested players, and I was allowed, like many others were on the bench, to play, and that was a bet. But I would have thought, France will rest some players because I would have thought that France will think that they can go far. I thought the big rotation that Norway did was a little bit too much for me. But because there is another question, they're going to be in Dallas. So it's going to be hard also to settle down in Dallas with the hit. Don't forget they're Norwegian. They're not people from south of Europe. So it's going to be tricky for them. I hope it's a good bet. It's a good choice that they made. But I would have tried to play the best team, especially if you knew that France will put his best team.
On the point on Dallas. It's an indoor stadium.
Oh, okay.
So
everyone's research is.
I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. How far into the show before you get something correct?
Well, I didn't say anything about Dallas. That wasn't me. That was French. That was all French.
They chucked him right under the bus.
That's me. That's
Chucked him under the bus there.
Let's have a look at France's bracket, shall we? And what they have to get through, or who they have to get through to make it deep in the tournament. They'll have Paraguay then in the round of 30. This is in theory at the moment. No, sorry, they have Sweden. And then they'll have Germany in the round of 16. And then quarterfinals.
Well, they're going to beat Sweden, aren't they?
That's a nice draw, isn't it?
That's
really?
South
Africa, Canada, Netherlands, Morocco. Goodness.
And that's where Norway would have been.
Yes, yeah.
Well, there's my point. It was a Scandinavian game, an all Scandinavian tie against Sweden.
Yes.
Who were bottom of the group in qualification, got into the World Cup. As you know, this grates on me. They get into the World Cup through another one of Gianni Infantino's backdoor, trapdoor parachutes called the Nations League. Shouldn't even be here. And that's how Norway could have. That's the argument that you could not only could have you potentially upset France, you could have bolstered your confidence by beating the favourites for the World Cup, and then you got an easier draw because Germany as well. They're no great shakes.
That's a nice sign for
France. But that's a really nice draw potentially for France.
Did you have France to win it all, Don, at the start?
Yeah. I just don't see how you beat them. I mean, Frank's probably alluded to maybe their weakness with Theo Hernandez, who's playing in Saudi, and Luka Dean. So left side maybe, or Koundé at right back might be a weakness. But you watch the rest of them play, and you just think, right, if we sit in and go defensive, they've got too much quality when they've got on the ball. If you go at France and they hit you on the counter, they've got loads of speed to do it. So it's going to take some team to beat them.
You still sticking with Spain?
Absolutely, I am. Dan, let me just wait and see how this game goes against Uruguay. We'll talk later.
We'll be talking about that later on. Frank, very delighted with France's 4th goal. Here is Frank celebrating France sealing the deal.
Yeah, another goal! Come on, France! Yeah, Désiré Doué. Yeah, we are so strong.
So, if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what will.
Yes, thank you.
Like Steve Clark in disguise.
See that?
Thank you.
That appearance money's dropping with every game that's played, Frank.
Yep.
Frank Lahou. Thank you very much, Frank. Frank's on his way here. When do you leave, Frank, to come here?
I'm flying tomorrow.
Wow.
So I'll be there tomorrow evening.
What a treat. Fantastic, Frank.
I'm going to kiss you on your cheeks, guy, twice.
Well,
I know you love that,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Hopefully that's the face.